There could be a few reasons why you're still thinking about your ex. I don't know you, so it's tough for me to tell the exact reason, but I could definitely bucket the reasons. And what you need is you need to talk to somebody who knows you well, right? And they'll be able to give a little more clarity to you. But generally, it's not that complicated. It's simply not that complicated. And there are a few reasons you may be thinking about your ex. So let's start with the first one. One, you're still dreaming, not thinking, dreaming. You're still dreaming about your ex, or you've started recently dreaming about your ex because you're simply not over your ex, because you're simply still thinking about them, whether it's at the conscious level during the day where you know it, you simply know it, right? Where you're thinking about them. Maybe you broke up with your ex-girlfriend, your ex-boyfriend, or whatever. You broke up with them a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, whatever. If you're still not over it, if in your waking existence you're thinking about them a lot, why are you wasting your time finding a YouTube video on why you're dreaming about your ex? Why are you wasting your time? The reason you're dreaming about them is because you're thinking about them, because they're top of mind for you. And the things you think about can be, not always, I'm not a dream expert, but can be those things that you dream about. What I think about can be what I dream about. It's not always the case. Sometimes the things I think about the most, sometimes the things I ruminate on the most, things that bother me in my waking life the most, don't come at all to me in my dreams. Sometimes the things I wish would come to me in my dreams, don't even, not even a whisper of them comes to me in my dreams. They don't even come close to me in my dreams. But things that I don't think about at all, not at all, come to me in my dreams. So I'm not saying you have to think about it for you to dream. And I'm not saying if you're dreaming, that means you must be thinking about it. But you know yourself, and I don't know you, and no one can know you as well as you do. So you can look inside and say, am I thinking about him? Am I thinking about this dude a lot? Am I thinking about this girl a lot? Ask yourself. It's not rocket science. Don't be afraid to ask yourself, and you'll know the answer. So, if you recently had a breakup, or if you're not over that person still, you're going to be dreaming about them, and um, that's just it. That's the first reason. That's the first reason. Now, within that subset of people, within the group of people who are dreaming about their exes, because they're still ruminating and thinking and thinking and thinking about their exes, they within that group you could break it down. You could break it down to the healthy people, saying, "Oh, these guys broke up a week ago. Yeah, okay, they're dreaming about their ex. What the fuck are you gonna do? They broke up a week ago with their significant other. What are these men and women gonna do? Yeah, they're dreaming about their ex. It's not a big deal. If 10 years has gone by, whether whether it was a short relationship or whether it was a divorce, a serious, intense divorce, if 10 years has gone by, that's just a long time already. And that would be the unhealthy variety of dreaming about your ex. That would be the unhealthy variety, and I think everyone would know that as well. We don't want to live our lives like that. And I'm not trying to sound harsh, but if it's been a long time and you're still thinking about your ex, change needs to be made. You need to start moving on. Um, and moving on is not as hard as you think it is. It's just not as hard as you think it is. You gotta move on if you're still dreaming about your ex years down the road, right? For the reasons that you're still thinking about them. Now, that's one. Number two, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave the last, most mystical reason. To, I'm gonna leave the most mystical reason for last. Uh, both because it's the most tenuous, the one I'm most unsure about, but also because it's the most mystical and to me the most interesting one, the most wild and interesting one to me. So, the second reason is that you may not be thinking of this person at a conscious level, but you're subconscious. So maybe you go an entire day without thinking about them, and then you're surprised that you're dreaming about them. That's kind of the key. A little bit of surprise, or just it's kind of weird. Why am I dreaming about them? So if I broke up a week ago with somebody, I'm not going to be Googling why am I dreaming about my ex, right? I'm not going to be YouTubing that, right? Unless I'm a bored fucking person, because I'll know the answer. There's other things I'll be Googling, like how to get over my ex. So that's the first camp, the people that know. You should know. Like, if you're in the first camp and you don't know why, and you should know why, that's sad. And it's tough to help those people. So if I'm thinking about my ex all the time during the day, all the time, and I'm dreaming about her, and I'm still not sure, I still Google why am I dreaming about my ex, and I'm so not self-aware. Um, I have such a lack of self-awareness that I'm not able to pay attention enough during the day to to feel, to understand, to realize that I'm still not over this person. Um, that's bad. I need more mindfulness in my life. I need more attention in my life. That's a tough thing if you're in the first group. It's tough because, first of all, you're emotionally not over them, and you're kind of not a very self-aware person, because the people that are self-aware, the people that broke up a week or a month or even 10 years ago, and that, pay attention to how they feel during the day, pay attention to how they are during the day, pay attention to how their mind is, how their existence is during the day. When they dream about their ex, it's not that exciting. It's not that amazing. They know why. Okay? Second reason. Let's get to the second reason now. You are not thinking about them during the day. You're mindful enough to see that you're just generally not thinking about that. Now, what happened? Maybe years have gone by, maybe a week has gone by, who knows? But something is not operating that's operating in the first group. In the first group, you have waking consciousness, where you're ruminating and ruminating and ruminating. And you have the monkey mind that is concerned with getting this ex back, that's concerned with all the implications of the breakup, just craziness that's going on. All the stuff that's related to the breakup in number one. Number two, for some reason, none of that happens. So maybe you broke up with your girlfriend yesterday and you're completely over her. If it was a long relationship, right? If it was a long ass relationship and you broke up with her yesterday and you're completely over her, my thing to you would be, how is that okay? How are you over a person you had a long relationship with in a day? What does that say about you? What does that say about your mind? What does that say just about your life? It's a bit scary, right? Knowing that someone broke up with their big time relationship, big significant other, really important key person in their life, even if they're the ones that broke up. It's scary. It's scary to know that the next day they're over it. You just know in your gut that that person is fooling themselves, that there's something twisted going on, and you're worried about them, because that's not normal anymore. That's not healthy, and that's not normal. If it's been 10 years and you're not thinking about them in your conscious life, that's more normal, and that's okay. But all the people in bucket two, all the people, whether you broke up a day ago or 25 years ago, you're not ruminating over them in your daily consciousness. But you happened to dream of them. And that's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video. That's why you're inquiring. Why am I dreaming about my ex? That's a more exciting and interesting thing, because at least you're not in camp one where you're just like, dude, you shouldn't even be Googling this. You should know why, and you should just, there's other priorities for you besides looking into why you're dreaming about your ex. You should be looking into how to get over your ex, how to improve your life. That's what you should be looking into in bucket one, right? In bucket two, legitimately, you can legitimately ask. And it's a legitimate thing, very reasonable and wise thing to inquire. If I'm not thinking about them at all, for years I haven't thought about them, why am I dreaming about them? Why? Right? And the bucket two answer, if you're in bucket two, the answer for you is this. This is the answer. Because you're subconscious, you're wise, intelligent, really intelligent, truly intelligent, subconscious. The one that rides along with you, the one that sees also and knows also, that's subconscious. But just the one that's not available to you right in your waking consciousness. Things that are happening and processing and being done below the surface, below that dark surface from which things bubble up into your waking consciousness, below that. So just because it's beneath the surface, below the surface, doesn't mean it's not wise, doesn't mean it's not trying to serve you and help you. And so you may not be thinking about them in your waking life for a myriad of reasons, tons of reasons for why you could not be thinking about them. Some healthy, some not. Some are downright frightening and scary, right? If you should be thinking about them and you're not, right? Imagine you got divorced yesterday after a 20-year marriage. You have kids, deep, intense relationship. Your husband leaves you, and now you're just over it. You know that that's not a healthy woman. The woman that's just over it. You're surprised naturally as to why someone in that state wouldn't be distraught, wouldn't be sad, right? So if that person is dreaming about her ex-husband, it makes sense. It's her ever all-knowing, ever wise, subconscious that's saying, hey, let's recall this thing. Let's focus on this thing a little bit. We need to do some work here. Let's do some work here. It may be tough work, but it has to be done. And your subconscious is begging you to do it by presenting these images to you in your dreams. It's asking you to do the work. It's asking you to take your attention, the only thing you really have, and use it to focus on this one thing. And it could be scary to do, but that's kind of the second bucket. It's your subconscious telling you that there's unresolved issues, unresolved trauma, unresolved whatever things, just anything that's unresolved, period. And your subconscious is telling you this. It's saying, do the work. Do the work. Think about it, resolve it, wrap it up into a nice bow, and then move on. That's what your subconscious wants you to do. It's asking for it. It's presenting these images to you in your dreams so you can do it in your waking life. Okay? That's the second bucket. Okay? The third bucket is the most interesting to me, is the most wild to me. It's the one I didn't believe in the past, the one I'm still skeptical about today, but having a far um, greater understanding of the mystical that underlies everything in the world. Every single thing, every moment is mystical. Every moment is mystical and deep and also shallow at the same time. And the last reason you may be thinking, dreaming. This is dreaming only, not thinking. The last reason you may be dreaming about your ex is that they're thinking about you. Not dreaming, thinking. They're thinking about you and you're dreaming about them. That's the last reason. And if you want proof for why this could be the case, I have none. I have none. I have some anecdotal evidence in my own life that leads me to actually believe this. I believe this myself, that it's possible under certain circumstances to dream of others when they're thinking about you. And just in my own life, my own experiments, it's possible for that to happen, I think. My own experiences make me doubt that far less than I doubted years ago, right? Um, but it's not materialist. And there's no way one could explain it. It's just, it's a feeling, right? But it only is true for the people in bucket three. It's not true if you're in the first bucket. It's not true if you're in the second bucket. It's only true if you're in the third. It's only true if they're thinking about you, and they're thinking about you so deeply that it's now coming into your head. Now, if you're in bucket one, if you're thinking about them all the time, why would you think that they're thinking about you? Why would you think that's the reason you're having a dream? How fucking ridiculous do you have to be? If I'm thinking about someone all the time, and then I have a dream about them, why would I not take the more simple explanation? Number two, also simple. But if you feel like you've done the work and you feel like you're over this person truly, maybe you still love them, right? Maybe you still have good things in your heart for them. It's totally reasonable. But you have to really be over them. Really be over them to be in bucket three. So say you're in bucket three. You've done the work and you know it's not some subconscious thing that's telling you. Maybe in the past you've even dreamt about them. In the past, a long time ago. And your subconscious then wasn't telling you, to think about the relationship and think about your life. Then you were in bucket two in the past. But maybe years have gone by and you started dreaming about your ex again. In that case, maybe you're in bucket three. But you'll never know, will you? You'll never know. And so, what you should do is not try to think about what bucket you're in. Not think about whether your ex is over you or not over you. Whether your ex is thinking about you or not thinking about you. And not, if you're in bucket one, the work is clear for you if you're in bucket one, right? But what you need to do is not really care so much about anything I've talked about today. Really, none of it, right? Because it's a big distraction. Everything I've said, everything I've discussed here, the whole thing is a distraction. If you're in bucket one, obviously you have the work to do. I don't want to make light of that, right? But everything that's not driving you forward towards improving your own life and improving the lives of those you love, that's driving you backwards. And sometimes it's hard to know what improves the lives of those you love. Sometimes it's hard to know. And sometimes it's hard to do them, to do those things, even when you do know them. It's very hard to do them sometimes. But that's where your energy should be at, not thinking about your dreams. Although sometimes your dreams matter quite a bit.